Hello, YouTube. Back here with my 2020 GMC Sierra 1500 3.0 liter Duramax diesel. I just changed the fuel filter and it is a piece of cake. Wow, GM did a great job of making this a easy do-it-yourself task, not something you have to go to the dealership or a shop to have done unless you just don't want to get a little bit of diesel fuel on your fingers. But otherwise, great and easy thing to do. Took me all of about 5 minutes. So the part number is right here. This is the filter. So there's your part number, TP1015, GM part number 135-39108. It costs about $40 with tax, so not a big deal. So I changed mine. I have right at about 27,500 miles on my tank. And I'm going to lift this filter up because I want to get my hands all dirty again. So I'm going to just use my O-ring pick here and pick this up. So inside this, you're going to have you'll have several O-rings. So you're going to have a big O-ring. This would be the new O-ring that comes with your new filter. So that goes on the canister itself, the plastic canister that unscrews. That goes down around the outside of the threads so that you get a good firm seal up around that. There's a little blue seal inside of that. So after you take the base off and let the fuel drain out of it and let the base come off, there's gonna be a little finger that sticks down out of the unit that's still bolted to the truck. That's gonna have a little O-ring on it. That's what this O-ring pick's for. So you're gonna take that one off, pull it off, and that's that new O-ring that goes on there. That's actually the old one. But the new O-ring will be in the Ziploc bag, and that'll go on there. So it's important that you replace those O-rings every time, even though they look, I mean, these O-rings look like they're in fantastic shape. Irregardless, get them changed. So this filter actually has an O-ring in the top that you can see. You do not have to replace it. That comes in the filter, so you don't have to worry about changing that out. There's also one on the bottom of the filter, all right? So this filter, again, has a little over 27,500 miles, and it actually looks really pretty good. It's not very dirty at all. Whoa, whoa. So not very dirty at all, so that's good. But anyway, so you're only going to need 2 tools to do this. 2. O-ring pick. Very simple, easy to get, Harbor Freight. Piece of cake, right? The other thing you're going to need, which you probably, unless you have a big metric set, a half-inch drive set of metric sockets, you're probably not even going to have that because most metric sockets don't go to this big. You're going to need a 36 millimeter socket. 36 millimeter socket right there. That fits the plastic base of the filter base, and you'll unthread it from that, right? It's not on there super tight. I believe it says it requires 25 Newton meters of torque to put back on. So really pretty simple to take on and off. Seriously, it took me 5 minutes. So let me show you where it's at. So I'm on the driver's side. So here's the truck. I'm on the driver's side of the truck. And I'm going to crawl underneath. Oh, I forgot my light. You're going to need a light. 3 tools. Sorry. So I'm going to crawl up underneath here and show you where everything's at. So you can see it right there. There it is, right? So that's just inside. There's my step. There's the frame. It's right inside the frame, directly underneath of the driver's door. That nut is a 36 millimeter. You're going to unthread that nut and don't take it off all the way. Just go in and unthread it until the fuel starts to flow. And once the fuel starts to flow, it'll maybe a pint of fluid, a few diesel fuel. Not a big deal. And so once you do that, let it drain out. So have a pretty good sized bucket underneath of it to make sure you can catch it all. It doesn't splatter everywhere. That'd be helpful. But once it drains out, unscrew it. Dump it, then dump it into the tank. And then once you do that, you could take it on out from underneath the truck. You have to unsnap it so the filter snaps onto that base. It snaps down inside of it. So snap it down and pull the other one out. Snap the new one back in. Replace the outer O-ring on that plastic base right there. So there's that blue O-ring goes around the base as it threads back up on there. And you'll replace that other O-ring on the bottom of the little finger that comes in. I believe that's the water separator. So you'll change the O-ring on that. That's it. Thread it back up on there, and you're almost done. So After you've got the filter completely back installed on your truck, okay, all you have to do is you open up the door of the truck, okay, open up your truck. The button right up here that you'd start the truck with, do not push on the brake. Just simply push and hold that button for about 5 or 6 seconds. Do not let go of the button until you hear the truck actually like it's about to start, but it will not. It's going to make all kinds of noises, and then you're going to hear that fuel pump kick on. And that fuel pump is going to pump all the air out of that filter base. And it's going to push all the air out, and you're going to hear the air bubble back to the tank. And it's going to take 20, 30 seconds, and it'll cycle through. Once it's done cycling, you'll be able to hear it, come back up, wait for a little bit, just hit the button again and shut the truck back off. I waited for about 3 or 4 minutes, kind of put away my tools, cleaned up around the shop here a little bit, no big deal. I did it again just to make sure that all the air bubbles were out of that filter base. I just heard just a little bit of gurgling after that on the second time around, and no problems, right? After the second time, I shut it off again, walked back, made sure everything was clean, put away everything I needed to put away, hit the brake, started the truck right up, no problems at all, right? So I used ramps underneath the back wheels of my truck. You could put ramps under the front wheels. Really doesn't matter. Just made it easier access for me. My truck's not jacked up that much. I only got a 2-inch lift, so not a real big deal. But it's super easy to change your fuel filter on the new 3.0 Duramax. Great job, GM. Good design. Easy to change.